Turnkey homes sell faster and for the best price. That's a fact. First impressions count. So today I'm joined by Maura Mackey, who's an interior designer and home stager. And Maura is going to share some tips that you as homeowners can implement to stage your home and make it look well before you go on the market. Welcome, Maura.
Thank you, Majella. Lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, Maura, can you explain what is home staging? It's a relatively new concept around here.
It is, and you know what, it's probably an undervalued concept, because basically what home staging is, it's preparing your home for the potential buyer. I suppose in layman's terms, it's showcasing it so that it's looking its best when you as an estate agent is bringing a potential buyer through your home. And I suppose the other thing is, when you stage your home, Majella, you're like, people are selling their homes for a better price. When people are getting their first impressions count, people will know the minute they walk through. You see it yourself, probably through the front door, front of the hallway. Like, you nearly know by the look of their faces, I like the look of this. Whereas if they see it clean, they see it like that it's prepared and it's presented in a great, they're kind of going, oh my God, what's next? And what's wrong? That they're interested in the sale. Whereas they switch off if it's not. Do you know what I mean?
It really appeals to the emotions, I think, in buyers.
And I suppose it definitely does. And I think that another thing as well, when say the likes of me come in and stage it, I might style it and put items into a home that the homeowners mightn't even think of it, because they've been living there all their lives. They're so used to have it a certain way. Whereas I come in and be like, oh, I changed that now. I put a color there. Sometimes it might just be furniture and accessories, but sometimes you might have to give a home an overhaul. Like, for example, you might have to get new paints. You might have to get a new hall carpet, or even, like a new mat outside the front door, just to give it a better curb appeal, more mirrors in the hallway if it's dark and stuff like that. Whereas I suppose I'm used to all that now. So the minute I walk into a house, I'm kind of going, I know exactly what needs to go where to make it look. And
so, like, for homeowners, they need to realize that, I suppose, it's not them going to be living in the house. They're targeting people who want to buy, who have different preferences, and the home stager, know what's trending out there. We know what buyers want, and it's bringing that.
Exactly, Majella. And I suppose I'm bringing colours that people probably wouldn't even imagine about putting in their living room, or even, different accessories and cushions. And people are like, oh my God, having a bit of fun. And people kind of say, houses come alive with staging. I feel, I don't, and I'm not just floating my own boat, but I just go into people's house and I'm like, oh my God, you could do that. And people are coming in after, people that I've working for, and they're like, oh my God, never ever in all the years I'm living here thought of doing that with my house. So then if those people are speaking like that, they're living all their lives, imagine how excited new clients will be coming in and having a look at it. Do you know what I
No,
mean?
I totally agree. As an estate agent, more like any home that's turnkey, that's fitted out and really staged nicely, it'll sell faster and for the best price, and there's no hassle with that, because people nowadays just want to walk in the door. They don't want to do anything, and you couldn't blame them after the stressful journey of trying to find a home, and they just want to walk in the door.
And you know what? By having it staged, you're actually showcasing it at its best. But people are coming in and saying, oh God, that's one thing we don't have to do. No, we don't have to paint the kitchen, because obviously if I go to people's houses and I feel, that the kitchen is very old, and to make the place look best, I say, look, I think it would be in your best interest price-wise to get a better price, return, then look, for the sake of it, get your kitchen painted, because it yourself, the kitchen's the heart of the home. And if the kitchen, after COVID, I think our kitchens are even more important, because people are all in there now cooking, they're talking, they're chatting, there's open plan space and everything like that. But I think showcase it as best. People are coming in and are like, well, we don't want now, we don't have to paint that kitchen out. That's one job less. They can enjoy the space rather than having to worry about how much work do we have to do to that house now to make it.
And Maura, if you were to take 5 tips to give homeowners on how to stage their home, like within a sensible budget as well.
Well, do you know what I would say first? I'd say decluttering is number one. I just think that, people have to be able to see the space. They have to be able to imagine themselves in the space. If it's full of clutter, they won't be able to do it. The next thing is a deep clean. It doesn't cost anything, like to get cleaners in, or do it yourself, give it a good old clean out to make sure that people aren't kind of seeing different things that are not there. You know what I mean? I suppose the other thing is, if you feel that your house could do with a fresh coat of paint, then, or even in certain rooms, give it that, because obviously people want to be able to see it at its best. I suppose the other thing is, do you know what now? If you're coming into a hallway and this is I think, even a creaking floorboard or a creaking door, something small, get a repair guy in. Like when I go to people's houses, and if small repairs like that need to be done, then I'll bring my own handyman with me, and he will do all the repairs. even like little marks on the wall or things like that, all small things, but they're all things that people are seeing as, oh my God, we must fix that, do that, or, you know, like weird things. And I suppose a very easy way, Majella, to actually add a new look to home is cushions and throws. You know, a few candles,
I
a
was
few
waiting for it, Maura.
oh my God, I just, you know, they're so affordable now that you can get them, but it's just, you know, just kind of have a nice bunch of flowers, you know, so that people can go, oh my God, it's lovely. It just enhances the space automatically.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I'm selling
And
a
they're all,
property at the moment, actually, and the clients, they have lovely flowers out in the hall and lovely flowers on the table. And it's so simple, but it really works, you know?
big,
Yeah,
big,
and they're all very doable things. But I totally agree in what you're saying about, you know, even if there's a creak in the floorboards, like if you bring an engineer out, that's going to be documented, you know,
it
and
is.
it mightn't be a major issue, but it's just having those things right before you bring the buyer into your home.
And I mean, like, look, there are certain things that you can disguise when you are staging. But I mean, at the end of the day, because sometimes when people buy houses, Majella, you know yourself, they might have their own opinion. They might be knocking walls, they might be extending out, and that's fair enough. But when you are selling it, you want it to, I suppose, be presented in the best way possible. Do you know?
100%,
Yeah.
100%. It's all first impressions. And
Yeah.
more like if you're maybe it mightn't be viable to stage every room in the house. What would be the main rooms that you think are most important to stage?
Well, I suppose I'll start outside the house now first because I always think curb appeal is number one. I just think that number one, someone's not going to even stop and look at your house. You know, there you, if yourself, you were driving along, you'd see the for sale sign. If it looks nice on the outside, you're automatically going to go, like that. It's clean. You'll take down the name, the number, and you'll ring the following day. So curb appeal. Do you know what now? Give it a clean, a new mat, new set of pots outside the door. It's small things, but they're number one. Two, when you come in the door, then I think it's lovely to have the hallway a nice fresh mat, you know, a nice bunch of flowers, keep it airy and bright. Then I suppose the kitchen and the dining room, everybody loves that because it's entertaining, it's cooking. A lot of people spend time in there. They would be the top two rooms, really. I suppose for bathroom, I would say always have fresh towels and stuff in there. I just think, you know, have a nice candle burning and right through the house, right throughout the house. And obviously, I say for bedrooms, if you don't want to stage them all, you could always stage one and have, you know, fresh bed linen in there and just show people what's possible. You know what I mean?
100%. And yeah, I totally agree. Start outside because most people we find will do a drive-by value, will do a
Yeah.
drive-by of the property before they'll book a viewing to go in. So, you know, the outside appearance, as you say, Maura, is key.
Oh, it is key. Yeah, you know.
And
And
that
it
leads me
definitely,
on to ask you the question, like, we're always told to depersonalize a home, and I totally agree with that. But how do you depersonalize it to extent that it's still welcoming and warm for buyers? Because you don't want a bare house either.
you don't want to be, well, I suppose that's where I come in then. Say if I go into someone's house and I actually depersonalize it, obviously, I would take an awful lot of, and it's not that I'm saying that you have to take everything belong to you out of the house, Majella. But say, for example, if you have loads of photographs and you've memorabilia that would be only just, I suppose, personal to you, then if you have too much of that in the house, then people kind of go, they can't imagine themselves. It's kind of overpowering, right? Whereas little things like if you had frames, you don't have to get rid of them all, but you could maybe put a neutral. Even I always said to people there, you could actually, you know, if you like a nice piece of wallpaper, cut out a piece of the wallpaper, put it into a frame, put it up in the, you know, put up in the windowsill, put it into a tray or something like that. Small things. And the other big thing, I always say this to people, I love my dog. We all love our dogs and our pets. But say, for example, someone coming viewing your house mightn't have a pet and mightn't, not that they might be a dog person. And but if the dog bed is in the kitchen or wherever you have it, then remove it, put it outside for the sake of the viewings. And it's just another thing. I think that if there's you know, personalized cushions and stuff on the couches and stuff like that, then you know what now? You can go to like the Forever New and all these places that have cheap and home sense affordable cushions. And for the sake of it, for less than 100 quid, you could have a nice new cushions and a throw. You know what I mean? That will enhance the look of the couch again, rather than making it look a bit I suppose that, you know, more relatable to the old homeowners rather than kind of the new potential client coming in.
And
Do
I
you
think
know?
that's where I suppose an outside person, as I call it, come in because when you're living, like all of us, we're living in our homes, we're so attached to our stuff and we don't
Yeah.
see beyond it really. And I remember I was listing a property once and there was this real green couch there. I know
Yeah.
and it really didn't fit in the room and
Oh,
it wasn't within keeping. It was just standing out and taking from the room. And when I gave my opinion, you know, just saying, I don't think that's best there,
Yeah.
she had sentimental value on the couch because I was a family member's 100%. So my advice to her was to put it away somewhere safe,
I was just about
because
to say, yeah.
even though that she had sentimental value on it, the buyers coming in the door hadn't. So it
Yes.
can be challenging, you know, because you may have sentimental value on your stuff. You have to detach yourself when you're selling in order to get the best price.
And green couches are beautiful, but if it doesn't fit that space for, like, say, the next person coming in mightn't like green at all because it might have its own traumas for them. So I suppose that's another thing that might just completely throw someone off the sale, that they're kind of going, oh no, that didn't look, I couldn't imagine myself in that space now. So then I would like, for someone like me coming in, that I would look at that space and say, okay, the walls are neutral, you know, say if a carpet or floor or whatever out there, then I would say, right, okay, I'll get a couch there now. You know, if your couch isn't suitable for the space, or if it's vacant property, then I think, okay, I'll automatically think of the light that's coming into the room and what I can do. And obviously light color couches can enhance the space and make it look brighter if it's a darker space. But obviously, if it's a nice bright room, then you can go mad. You can kind of go your like luxury velvets and your greens and your blues and stuff like that. And that enhances the space. But I suppose always be conscious. It's not anything critical to the person who's selling their house that, you know, somebody like me coming in wants to change things. The reason I want to change things is because I know what is trending out there right now. I know what people are buying because I'm in interior design. And then I suppose I'm trying to showcase that in someone's house that they're selling, so that the person coming in is going to love it as much as if they're walking to a show house.
That leads
You
me
know?
on to, you mentioned vacant properties, vacant homes, you know, could be just built or the family have moved out and the property is completely empty. It's harder to show that property as an estate agent because it's harder to get across the potential of it. A lot of people, when they walk in, they don't know where to start. Maura, what advice would you give somebody who has a property that's vacant and just needs that little bit of warming, we'd say?
Well, I would always think that for, like, you know, where I suppose like everything, you have to be able to see a property to imagine yourself in the space. And by staging it, I suppose I'm coming into a property, whether you're saying, oh, I can't afford this now to sell it, but even stage, say, like every house is a kitchen. So like even for me to bring in a dining room table and chairs and a few accessories and things like that, and make it feel more homely, get a couch and get, you know, different things that, you know, you can make it look like that, oh, it's been lived in. Because I think there's nothing colder than seeing, when you're walking in, all you're seeing is concrete floors. You can't imagine what it's there, or even maybe if there's floors down and even the walls aren't painted. For me to go into an empty house, automatically I'd be looking at colours. I'd be thinking of the furniture that I have and accessories that I can actually get to actually fit out the space. But I
So
definitely
that's a
think,
very
Majella,
good facility, Maura, that you can actually provide the furniture, that homeowners don't have to go out
yeah.
buying the furniture.
And like, no, they don't. And at the end of the day, like, it's when I rented from my furniture supplier, and I have accessories and all that kind of stuff at home here. What I'm saying is that it's a 3-month lease, basically. Like, you know, yourself, that houses could be on the market for a month, or they could be on it for 3 months. But at the end of the day, that's the price, because look, that's the way the furniture company works.
Yes.
But it's a great, I suppose, tool to have to try and sell your home, because the cost of staging far outweighs, you know, you're definitely going to get a much higher price for your house rather than just leaving it
Oh,
there and people not
especially
being.
in the current market, we're seeing it every day, Maura. We're seeing it
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, you
Maura,
know,
thank you very much for those very valuable tips. And
no bother
for
at all.
anyone who's thinking of selling their property, get in touch with me. I'd love to help you out. And for anyone who's thinking of staging or doing interior design, reach out to Maura Mackey. We'll put our details below, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon, Majella. Thank you.